Regret is a silent storm. By the time they hear it, it's already too late. They chose wrong, my friends, and deep down, you know it. They walked away thinking they'd find something better, something shinier, something that would make them forget you. But here's the thing. You can't forget gold once you've touched it. You can only spend the rest of your life trying to polish cheap metal, hoping it'll shine the same way. Hey folks, imagine this. You're a lighthouse standing tall at the edge of a raging sea. You once guided a ship through the storm, gave it warmth, safety, direction. But one day, that ship decided it didn't need your light anymore. It thought it could sail freely without you. So it drifted away, chasing the horizon. And for a while, maybe it felt thrilling. New waters, new skies. But eventually, the storm comes for everyone. And when it does, that ship looks back toward the shore, searching for the light it once took for granted. That, my friends, is what regret looks like. They'll act confident now. They'll post the pictures. They'll pretend they're happier. But silence has a funny way of becoming the loudest sound in the world when you've lost something real. See, the lie the world tells you is that you need to make them see your worth. Text them, prove yourself, chase them, show how much you care. But that's not power, that's panic. And panic has never been attractive. Power is when you know your worth so deeply that you don't need to announce it anymore. You just become it. You don't chase what's blind to your value. You let the consequences teach them what your words no longer will. Because here's the truth. Regret does what begging never could. They thought walking away was freedom. They thought silence meant control. But what they didn't realize was that your silence, your peace, your complete emotional detachment would echo louder than any apology they'll ever give. You don't need to show them they lost something good. You just keep growing, keep building, keep glowing. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy." And that's what Stoicism teaches us, not to react, not to chase, but to rise. Let regret do the punishing, let time do the reminding, because life always circles back to what was real. You are not a chapter they can rewrite, you are the entire book they were never ready to read. And soon, they'll realize they walked out of their own story just before it got good. So, my friends, don't worry about their laughter now, or their silence, or the new person they're parading around. That's temporary noise. Regret is patient, and when it arrives, it doesn't knock. It crashes in. Your job is simple. Stay still, stay strong, stay silent. Focus on yourself. Master your peace, because that's how you win without ever lifting a finger. Remember this. When you move on with peace, the universe turns your absence into their lesson. So stay with me till the end of this one, because we're about to dive into the steps that make regret do the talking for you. And before we go any further, type this in the comments right now. I choose peace. Because peace, my friends, is the loudest message you'll ever send. Number 1. The moment they chose wrong. They thought they upgraded, but all they really did was downgrade their soul. They thought walking away was the smartest move they ever made. They believed leaving you behind was liberation, a chance to start fresh. But let's be real, my friends. What they really did was step out of peace and into chaos. They confused your stability for boredom, your consistency for predictability, and your love for something they could easily replace. They thought they were escaping the ordinary, but they didn't realize that ordinary with depth beats exciting with emptiness any day. Picture this. You're a fire in a cold world. They sat by your warmth, took your light for granted, and then one day decided they wanted to feel something new. So they walked away chasing the flicker of another flame, only to realize that most fires out there don't burn, they burn out. That's when regret begins, not all at once, but slowly. Like smoke crawling under a door they thought they closed for good. Right now, you might be sitting there thinking, how could they not see my worth? How could they choose someone else, something else, after everything I gave? That's the pain talking, the part of you that still wants to understand the logic in betrayal. But here's the truth. They didn't choose better, they chose easier. They chose what fed their ego, not their soul. Because real connection requires maturity, consistency, and emotional discipline. 3 things most people run from when life gets hard. It hurts because you saw something real. You didn't fake it. You were solid when they were still figuring out who they were. You offered peace when they were addicted to chaos. You gave love when they were chasing attention. But the world has a funny way of teaching lessons. It lets people lose what they can't replace so they can understand its value later. And that's exactly what's happening now. Let's break a lie here, the one that whispers, maybe if I had done more, they'd have stayed. No, my friend. You could have loved them harder, stayed up longer, given more of yourself, and the ending would still be the same. Because people don't leave because you're not enough. They leave because they don't know how to receive enough. They mistake calmness for dullness, kindness for weakness, and loyalty for lack of options. But life will teach them. Oh, it will. You see, their mistake wasn't just walking away, it was underestimating you. They thought you'd crumble, they thought you'd beg, they thought you'd wait, because that's the pattern they're used to. People begging to be seen, desperate to be chosen again. But you're breaking that pattern. You're not chasing anymore. You're not explaining anymore. You're not lowering your energy to fit what can't even reach your level of depth. You're done auditioning for roles in stories that no longer deserve your presence. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Loss is nothing else but change, and change is nature's delight." And that's what you must embrace now, the delight of change. You're not losing them. You're losing your old self, the one who needed validation, who thought being chosen was proof of worth. That version of you is gone. You're stepping into something stronger, something quieter, something unshakable. But let's be honest, it's not easy. There will be days when your mind replays old conversations, old moments, and you'll wonder if they ever think about you. You'll wonder if they're happier now, if they've forgotten you. That's the ego trying to pull you back. That's the part of you that still wants closure, still wants the why. But the Stoics would remind you, peace isn't found in answers, it's found in acceptance. You don't need to know why they left. You just need to know that you're better off without someone who couldn't see your worth when it was right in front of them. Imagine them months from now, scrolling through old photos, hearing a song that once played in your car, walking past a place where your laughter still echoes in the air. It hits them in moments they don't expect. That's how regret works. It's not loud. It doesn't announce itself. It seeps in quietly, reminding them that peace doesn't come from new faces or distractions. It comes from being where you belong. And they left where they belonged. They'll try to replace you. They'll chase the same feeling with someone else. But the truth is, a connection like yours doesn't repeat. It haunts. You'll live rent-free in their mind, not because you're trying to, but because your energy was real. It was grounded. It was rare, and they'll feel the difference when everything else around them starts to fade. This is where you rise, not by seeking revenge, not by proving your worth, but by doing absolutely nothing, by letting silence speak for you. Because silence is your new weapon, stillness is your new strength. When you stop chasing, you force the universe to put you back in alignment with who you truly are. And trust me, nothing confuses those who wronged you more than watching you glow without them. You've got to understand, they didn't just lose you. They lost access to your energy, your kindness, your understanding, your calm. You were their peace, and now they'll spend the rest of their nights searching for that peace in chaos. They'll try to replicate your patience with someone new. They'll try to recreate your laughter. But there's no shortcut to something real. What's real leaves an echo. And you, my friend, are that echo. So don't look back. Let them walk their path. Let them taste their own silence. Let them learn what it means to miss someone who didn't just love them, but understood them. Because soon they'll realize that losing you wasn't freedom. It was the beginning of their captivity. And when they finally feel the weight of what they've done, when they lie awake wondering why nothing feels the same, you'll be at peace. Not because they regret it, but because you finally don't need them to. You don't have to fight for closure anymore. You are the closure. You don't have to prove they lost something special. Your growth will prove it for you. Type this in the comments right now to claim your strength back. I am the one that got away. Show them. Show yourself. Show the world that you're no longer chasing what's blind. You're walking with vision. And stay with me, folks, because what's coming next will show you exactly how to let regret finish the job without saying a single word. Number 2. Why you must let regret do the punishing. Never interrupt an enemy when they're making a mistake. Napoleon Bonaparte. You don't need to prove they lost something good. You don't need to post more, explain more, or chase closure. Let regret do the punishing. Because nothing you could ever say will teach them the lesson that silence already will. See, regret is the universe's quiet justice. It arrives late, but it never misses. And when it shows up, it doesn't whisper. It roars inside their mind. My friends, think about this. You're standing in a battlefield, holding your peace while they're swinging wildly, trying to prove they've moved on. You could swing back, you could throw words, you could show your glow up, you could try to make them jealous, but that's not mastery. That's the reaction. And every time you react, you tell them they still have control. But when you stand there, calm, collected, unbothered, you turn the tables. Because silence forces them to fight with their own thoughts. Imagine this, you're fired. You've been burning brightly, giving warmth, giving light. But one day, they walked away thinking they didn't need your flame anymore. So you stopped burning for them. You didn't chase. You didn't beg. You simply let the night get cold. At first, they celebrated their freedom, but as time passed, the chill began to creep in. That's when regret begins. It's the slow freezing of someone who thought they didn't need warmth. That's why you can't chase folks, because the more you chase, the more you delay their regret. You become the comfort they no longer deserve. You stop them from learning the truth that your silence, your absence, your emotional distance is the lesson they earned. Every time you reach out, you give them relief from the discomfort they created. Every time you try to fix what they broke, you steal the consequence away from them. And that's where most people fall. They think healing comes from closure. But let me tell you something, they already got closure the moment they walked away. Now, it's your turn to get peace by letting them sit in the consequences of their choices. Because no one learns when you cushion the fall. Sometimes the best way to show them is to let life show them. Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Your reaction defines the story. You can either act from pain or from power." When you let regret do the punishing, you're not being passive. You're being precise. You're playing the long game. You're saying, I trust time more than I trust my emotions right now. And that, my friends, is what Stoic strength looks like. But let's be honest, it's not easy. Silence feels heavy at first. It feels unnatural not to text back, not to check up, not to explain your side. Your mind will scream, what if they forget me? What if they move on? What if they never regret it? But those questions come from fear, not truth. Fear wants immediate results. Truth trusts timing. They might act fine now. They might even look like they're happier, but that's surface-level stuff. It's like putting perfume over smoke. It hides the burn for a moment, but it doesn't erase the fire underneath. And when the excitement fades, when the noise quiets down, that's when the echo of your absence starts to speak. That's when regret finally does what your words never could. The hardest part is resisting the urge to check whether it's working. You'll be tempted to peek, to see if they're watching your stories, to notice if they liked something, to look for signs that they miss you. But don't. That's how you break your own healing. Remember, you're not trying to manipulate them. You're mastering yourself. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy." You don't punish them by acting like them. You punish them by becoming unshakable, because they expect you to break, to reach out, to prove your worth. But when you don't, you trigger something they can't control. Reflection. And that reflection will haunt them far longer than any argument ever could. Think about the last time you lost someone valuable, not because they left, but because you took them for granted. You don't feel the pain right away. It creeps in slowly, through memories, through random moments, through the realization that no one else matches that energy. That's exactly what's happening to them. They're living their life, pretending to be fine, until something reminds them of you. And suddenly, regret hits like a wave they can't swim against. So let it. Don't rush it. Don't save them from it. Let regret do the punishing, because what's meant for you will never require chasing, and what's not meant for you will teach you strength in letting go. You've got to remember, you're not losing anything by staying silent. You're gaining power. You're gaining clarity. You're gaining peace. You're shifting from being reactive to being radiant. When they finally realize what they lost, you'll already be 10 steps ahead. More confident, more grounded, more untouchable. And that's the beauty of letting regret work for you. You don't have to say a word. Your growth will say it all. So stay calm, stay grounded, stay silent, and let life do the talking. Because the best karma isn't revenge, it's evolution. When you rise above the chaos, you don't just win, you end the game. Type this in the comments right now to claim your power. My silence is my revenge. Show them, show yourself, show the world around you that real power doesn't chase. It waits, it grows, and it shines. And stay with me, my friends, because next we're going to talk about the illusion they're chasing and how that illusion always collapses under the weight of reality. Number 3, their fantasy versus reality. They left chasing a dream, but life has a way of turning dreams into mirrors, and those mirrors always show the truth. They thought they were walking into something better. They thought they'd found their forever somewhere new, with someone who looked shinier, sounded sweeter, and promised less effort. You know how it goes. They wanted excitement, not peace, attention, not depth. They called it moving on, but it wasn't growth, it was escaping. They weren't running toward happiness, my friends. They were running from reflection. Because you reminded them of what they weren't ready to face about themselves, and for a while, it probably looked like they won. You saw the smiles, the trips, the stories, the show they put on to prove to the world, and maybe even to themselves, that they'd made the right choice. But here's the secret. They didn't move on, they just moved around. They swapped one stage for another, but the script didn't change. They took the same emptiness with them, just dressed it up in new clothes. Imagine this. You build them a beautiful house, strong foundation, solid roof, warmth in every room, and one day they walk out because they saw a mansion with shinier windows down the street. They don't realize those windows are just mirrors reflecting their own confusion. At first, that new place looks perfect, until the storms come, and when the rain starts leaking through the cracks, they'll remember how safe your home once felt. That's the difference between fantasy and reality. One fades when life gets hard, the other gets stronger. Right now, they're living in the honeymoon phase of their illusion. Everything feels light, effortless, exciting. But novelty is a short-lived drug. It gives pleasure, not peace. It makes noise, not meaning. And when the high fades, the silence that follows is deafening. You can't build a life on fireworks. They look beautiful, but they burn out fast, leaving nothing but smoke. You know what's funny? They thought they left boredom behind. But now, every night feels empty. They thought they left control. But now, they're controlled by their own thoughts. They thought they left someone predictable, but the truth is, they left someone dependable. And that's the kind of loss you don't understand until it's too late. Here's what most people don't realize. Fantasy isn't about love. It's about ego. It's about wanting to feel powerful, wanted, seen. It's the illusion that the next person, the next thrill, will fill what's missing inside. But reality doesn't work that way. You can't fix a broken soul by changing the scenery. You can only delay the crash. The Stoics taught that happiness is not found in pleasure, but in peace. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. They chased something outside themselves, thinking it would fill the void. But the void only grows when you try to silence it with noise. Now, maybe part of you still wonders, are they happier now? It's okay to wonder. It's human. But ask yourself this: how long can someone pretend before the mask starts to slip? How long before the laughter feels forced, before the nights grow quiet, before they look at that new person and realize they're still not fulfilled? Because you can't replace connection with convenience. You can't replace the soul with the surface. And that's the trap. They thought love was supposed to be easy, but easy isn't love. It's entertainment. Love is growth. Love is patience. Love is the ability to stay steady when the excitement fades. You offered that. You gave them roots, but they wanted wings made of wax. And like Icarus, they flew too close to their own illusion, and reality always melts the fantasy. There's a moment coming, and I promise it always comes. A quiet moment when they're alone, maybe scrolling through old photos, maybe driving home in silence, and suddenly it hits them, not as a loud crash, but as a whisper. What if I was wrong? That's the moment regret starts to bloom, because fantasy can distract, but it can't heal, and once the noise fades, all that's left is truth. That's when they start comparing. They'll compare how peaceful they once felt with you, how natural it was to be themselves, how easy your presence made everything. They'll look at the person they chose, and even if that person hasn't done anything wrong, it just won't feel the same. Because the soul knows the difference between comfort and connection, between attraction and alignment. And when they realize it, my friends, it won't just hurt, it'll haunt. Every memory of you will play like a quiet reminder of what they abandoned. And you won't need to say a word. That's what makes regret so powerful. It speaks louder than revenge ever could. Don't chase their realization. Don't wait for it. Just know it's coming. The same way dawn follows darkness, regret follows disrespect. Always. But here's the best part. You won't be there waiting anymore. You'll be too busy living, growing, healing, and glowing. By the time they understand your worth, you'll have outgrown the need for their validation. So stop wondering if they're happy now. Stop asking if they miss you. Because the truth is, they don't even know what they're missing yet. But life will show them. Time will reveal it. And silence will remind them every single day that peace doesn't come from finding someone new. It comes from not losing yourself. You just keep doing you. Keep showing up for your goals. Keep choosing stillness over reaction. Keep building the life they thought you couldn't build without them. Because that's how you win, by not playing the same game anymore. Say this with me right now. and write it in the comments. My peace is not replaceable. Show them, show yourself, show the world that fantasy fades, but strength doesn't. And stay with me, because what comes next will show you how doing nothing, absolutely nothing, becomes your most powerful move. Number 4, the power of doing nothing. Sometimes, doing nothing is the loudest answer you can give. My friends, this one will sting a little, because it goes against everything your emotions are screaming at you to do. When someone walks away or starts acting distant, your instinct tells you to act, to fix, to explain, to prove. But that's the trap. The more you do, the more you chase. The more you chase, the more you lose yourself. The real power, the kind that flips the entire script, comes when you do absolutely nothing. Let me paint a picture for you. Imagine standing in the middle of a storm. The wind is howling, the rain is hitting hard, trees are bending under pressure, and everyone's running for cover. But you stand still. You don't panic. You don't run. You just breathe, eyes steady, heart calm. That's what emotional power looks like, because storms always pass. But what people remember is who stood tall through them. When you do nothing, they feel it. When you stop reaching out, when you stop reacting, when you stop trying to fix what they broke, they notice. Because silence has a weight that words could never carry. It creates space. Space that forces reflection. Space that makes them see what life looks like without your energy. And if your energy was genuine, peaceful and rare, that silence becomes unbearable for them. They'll wonder what happened. They'll ask themselves why you suddenly stopped trying. And that confusion, that's where the shift begins. Because as long as you're chasing, they feel secure. They know you're there. They feel wanted. But the moment you go still, the balance of power changes. You're no longer orbiting around them. They're now lost in your absence. You might think, but doing nothing feels wrong. It feels like I'm giving up. No, my friend, you're not giving up. You're growing up. Doing nothing doesn't mean you don't care. It means you care about yourself more. It means you're choosing control over chaos. It means you're refusing to feed an energy that drains your peace. The Stoics understood this better than anyone. Epictetus said, if someone can provoke you, know that your mind is complicit. Meaning, if they can still make you react, they still own a piece of you. But when you stop reacting, when you do nothing, you take that power back. You say, without saying, you no longer control my emotions. That's the real victory. Think about a lion. When the prey runs, the lion doesn't chase out of desperation. It waits. It observes. It knows its strength. It knows it doesn't need to prove anything. That's how you must be. You're not ignoring them out of spite. You're staying still out of self-respect. You're saying, if you want access to me, earn it. If you want peace, bring peace. I'm no longer giving discounts to those who can't afford my energy. Now, I won't lie. Doing nothing will test you. Your mind will beg you to text. Your heart will want to reach out. You'll replay moments, scroll through memories, fight the urge to check in. That's the human part of you seeking relief. But what you're building here isn't relief, it's resilience. Every time you resist the urge to act, you're strengthening your self-control. And that control is what separates those who heal fast from those who stay stuck. Doing nothing is not passive, it's powerful. It's a statement. It's you saying, I trust time more than I trust impulse. You're giving life the space to work in your favor. You're letting regret, silence, and karma do their job, because you can't rush realization. It takes time for people to feel the weight of what they've lost. And here's what usually happens when you master this stillness. At first, they'll be confused. They'll think you're bluffing. They'll wait for your message, your reaction, your emotional outburst. When it doesn't come, they start to worry. That worry turns into curiosity. That curiosity turns into doubt. Did I lose them for good? Are they really over me? That's when their own mind becomes their punishment. You don't have to say a word. Your silence becomes their teacher. You're not trying to win them back anymore. You're trying to win yourself back. And that's the shift that changes everything. Because once you become comfortable with doing nothing, you realize that peace isn't found in reaction. It's found in restraint. The less you respond, the more powerful your presence becomes. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The more we value things outside our control, the less control we have." When you let go of trying to control how they see you, how they feel, or what they choose, you reclaim your peace. You stop wasting energy trying to rewrite a story that's already been written. So from now on, when they test you with silence, test them back with peace. When they pull away, don't follow, stand firm. When they expect a reaction, give them nothing but calm. That's the move they never see coming. And one day, trust me, they'll feel it. They'll scroll through your life, see your calm, your glow, your focus, and it'll hit them. They were replaced, not by someone else, but by your peace. They'll realize you're no longer available for chaos. And that's when they'll come crawling back, not because they love you, but because they miss the version of themselves that existed in your presence. But by then, you'll understand something deeper. You'll realize that doing nothing wasn't silence. It was self-mastery. It was strength disguised as stillness. And when you reach that level, you'll never chase again. So take a deep breath, folks. Let silence do the talking. Let stillness be your statement. Because you don't need to scream your worth. Peace already says it loud enough. Type this in the comments right now to lock it into your mindset. My stillness is power. Show them. Show yourself. Show the world that sometimes the most powerful move is no move at all. And stay with me, because next we're going to talk about what happens when regret finally hits them, and why that moment is the most satisfying silence you'll ever hear. Number 5. When regret finally hits them. Regret doesn't knock, it breaks the door down when the party's over. At first, they think they've escaped. They breathe easier, they laugh louder, they fill their time with noise, pretending it's joy. You'll see the posts, the smiles, the new beginnings. But here's what they'll never admit. The freedom they're celebrating is just distraction dressed as happiness. Because real freedom doesn't come from running away. It comes from peace within. And peace doesn't visit those who walked away from something real. Regret, my friends, doesn't show up on day one. It's patient. It waits in silence. It watches them live out their fantasy, enjoy their better choice. And then, when the shine starts to fade, it quietly walks in and sits on their chest. It starts small, a random memory, a song you both loved, a familiar place. But as time passes, those moments grow louder, heavier, harder to ignore. That's how regret works. It doesn't crash in all at once. It creeps in, moment by moment, until they can't escape it. Imagine them sitting there one night, scrolling through their phone, their new person beside them. The laughter's gone, the spark is gone, and suddenly something as simple as a scent, a song or a memory pulls them right back to you. They remember your calm, your patience, your presence. They remember how effortless it felt when you were around. They remember that peace doesn't feel like excitement. It feels like home. And that's when it hits. They thought you'd always be around. They thought they could replace you. But what they didn't understand is that connections built on authenticity can't be duplicated. You can mimic the gestures, copy the moments, but you can't recreate the energy. They'll realize that you weren't just someone they dated. You were their mirror, their grounding force, their calm in the storm. And now, that calm is gone. At first, they'll try to fight it. They'll distract themselves, go out more, talk to new people, pretend it's fine. But regret doesn't care about distractions. It waits for silence. It hits hardest when they're alone. When the noise fades and they can hear their thoughts again, that's when your absence becomes the loudest sound in the room. They'll remember the way you looked at them when they didn't deserve it. They'll remember the way you stayed calm when they pushed you away. They'll remember how you always tried to understand instead of react. And those memories, they won't be comforting. They'll be haunting, because deep down, they'll know they traded something real for something temporary. Psychologically, it's inevitable. Humans always compare. The mind naturally contrasts the present with the past, and when they start comparing you with what they have now, they'll see the difference clear as day. They'll see that the connection they once called boring was actually safety. The calm they once took for granted was actually balance. The love they thought they'd outgrown was actually the love that grew them. And you won't even have to say a word. That's the beauty of silence. It turns time into your ally. Every day that passes without you, they'll feel the gap grow wider. The things they once ignored will echo louder in their mind. Your patience, your loyalty, your presence. It will all come back to remind them that no matter how far they run, some energies can't be replaced. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Time is a river, a violent current of events, glimpsed once and carried away." They didn't value their moment with you when they had it. Now, time carries it further and further away, and the only thing they can do is watch. That's the punishment regret brings, not pain you inflict, but pain they create for themselves. And when regret finally hits, it doesn't just hurt, it humbles. They'll start seeing their own mistakes clearly. They'll realize how their ego blinded them, how their immaturity made them sabotage something good. They'll replay conversations, moments, words they wish they could take back. They'll start wondering, did I ruin something I'll never find again? And that question will keep them up at night. But here's the thing, you won't need to see it. You won't need to hear their apology, because by the time regret reaches them, you'll be far beyond needing their validation. You'll be in a different space, stronger, wiser, at peace. You'll be grateful, not bitter, because what once hurt you became the very thing that built you. They'll probably try to reach out eventually, a message, a memory, a, "Hey, I was just thinking about you." But you'll feel nothing, because the storm that once shook you now barely moves a leaf inside you. You'll look at their name and feel what every Stoic feels when faced with the past, calm acceptance. You'll understand that their regret isn't your reward, it's their consequence. And that's the true victory, not their pain, not their apology, but your peace. You won't need to prove they lost something good. Your silence already did. You won't need to make them miss you. Time already handled that. You just kept growing while they stayed stuck, replaying what they let go of. Let life do what it always does. Bring balance. What's lost without appreciation always returns with realization. That's how the universe works. Not in your timing, but in divine timing. You don't have to lift a finger. The energy you once gave will circle back to them, and when it does, it won't bring comfort. It'll bring clarity. So stay silent, stay calm, let regret do its work, because you are no longer their punishment. You are their lesson. Type this in the comments right now to lock it in your mind. They'll regret losing me, but I'll never regret letting go. Show them, show yourself. Show the world that peace always wins in the end. And stay with me, folks, because what comes next will show you how to become emotionally untouchable, so that no matter who leaves, your peace never does. Number 6. How to stay emotionally untouchable. The one who controls his emotions controls the room. The one who controls nothing becomes the fool of his own feelings. My friends, this is where everything changes, because you can't truly win back your peace or make them regret losing you until you master this one skill: emotional control. The world tells you to feel everything, to express it all, but Stoicism teaches the opposite truth. Not every emotion deserves a reaction. Real strength isn't about not feeling, it's about not being ruled by what you feel. When you become emotionally untouchable, you stop giving people the keys to your peace. You stop letting their silence, their actions, their opinions decide how your day feels. You stop being their puppet, and that's when everything flips, because suddenly they no longer know how to get to you. Let's picture it. Imagine standing in the middle of chaos, texts unanswered, people ghosting, plans falling apart, and yet you're calm. You don't beg for clarity. You don't chase explanations. You just breathe. You observe, not absorb. That's emotional mastery. You've become like a mountain. Storms may hit, but they never move you. But let's be honest, it's not easy. Emotional control isn't natural. It's learned, especially when your heart still cares. You want to text them. You want to prove your worth. You want to fix what's broken. But every time you act from emotion, you lose power. You feed the very cycle that hurt you. The Stoics believed that no one can harm you without your permission. It's not the event itself that hurts, it's how you interpret it. Epictetus said, "Men are disturbed not by things, but by the views they take of them." That means your peace isn't stolen, it's surrendered. The person who ghosted you didn't take your power, you handed it over by reacting. But when you master your emotions, you take it back. Think of emotional control like armor. The world can throw anything at you, lies, rejection, manipulation, and it'll just bounce off. Because your reactions are your responsibility. You stop asking, "Why did they do this to me?" and start asking, "Why did I allow it to shake me?" That shift changes everything. Here's the secret. Being emotionally untouchable doesn't mean you're cold. It means you're wise. You can still feel everything. You just don't act on every feeling. You can acknowledge pain without letting it dictate your peace. You can love without losing yourself. You can walk away without resentment. That's what separates the calm from the chaotic. Imagine your emotions as waves. Most people try to fight them. They swim against the current, panic when it rises, drown when it crashes. But the Stoic learns to surf. They don't resist the wave, they ride it. That's how you handle pain. You don't deny it. You don't let it own you. You learn to move with it, not beneath it. And when you master that, something incredible happens. Your presence becomes powerful. People can feel your calm. They sense your peace. They can't manipulate you anymore because you've become unpredictable. You no longer react on their timeline. You've reclaimed control of your mind, your mood, and your moves. And that, my friends, is what drives them crazy, because emotional untouchability is confusing to those who once fed off your reactions. They'll test you, poke, ignore, bait, post things to get your attention. But when you stay silent and grounded, they lose their sense of control. They'll start wondering, did they stop caring? Are they over me? Did I lose my power? And that's when the balance shifts. Because now you're no longer emotionally invested in their drama. You've elevated above it. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. This is your foundation. Every time you choose to respond calmly instead of emotionally, you strengthen your mind. You build resilience, you turn pain into discipline, you stop being reactive, and you become reflective. And once you become reflective, you start seeing through everything: the manipulation, the emotional games, the false promises. You stop taking things personally. You start understanding that most people act from their own wounds, not because of your worth. That's what makes you untouchable. You realize that nothing outside you defines you. Think of it like this. Emotions are visitors, not residents. They come, they knock, they want attention. But you decide whether they stay. When anger knocks, you don't have to invite it in. When sadness visits, you can acknowledge it, but you don't have to feed it. You become the gatekeeper of your inner world. And that gate, it's locked until you decide otherwise. And here's the paradox. The more emotionally untouchable you become, the more attractive you become. Because peace is magnetic. Everyone wants to be near someone who doesn't crumble under pressure. Everyone craves someone who can stay calm when the world spins. You become rare, because in a world of overreactors, being composed is power. So stop giving your emotions to those who haven't earned them. Stop trying to prove your heart to people who don't have the capacity to hold it. Guard your energy like it's treasure, because it is. Your peace, your calm, your control, that's your real currency in this world. Every time you resist reacting, you're reminding yourself, I am in control. Every time you stay silent when provoked, you're teaching your mind discipline. And every time you choose calm over chaos, you're rewriting your story, not as a victim, but as a master. So the next time they test you, smile. The next time you feel the urge to chase, pause. The next time life throws you a storm, stand tall. Because the mountain doesn't move for the weather moves around the mountain. Type this in the comments right now to remind yourself who you are. I am unshakable. Show them. Show yourself. Show the world that nothing, no silence, no distance, no rejection can touch the peace you've built inside. And stay with me, because next we're going to talk about something even deeper. How to turn every ounce of pain they caused you into unstoppable power. Number 7. Turning pain into power. The wound is where the light enters you. Rumi, my friends, pain is powerful. It's the one teacher that never lies. But most people waste it. They let heartbreak define them instead of refine them. They let betrayal make them bitter instead of better. But the truth is, your pain was never meant to break you. It was meant to wake you. Every sleepless night, every unanswered message, every moment of rejection, it was all shaping you into someone stronger, sharper, and more self-aware than you've ever been. I want you to imagine this. You're walking barefoot across shattered glass. Every step hurts, every move cuts, and all you can think about is the pain. But if you keep walking, something incredible happens. The glass that once wounded you starts to dull beneath your feet. It stops cutting you because you've toughened. That's how life works. Pain doesn't stop hurting because it disappears. It stops hurting because you outgrow its ability to harm you. The truth is, you needed this pain. You needed that heartbreak, that loss, that moment when you felt like you had nothing left. Because without it, you would have stayed soft where life required strength. You would have stayed comfortable where life demanded growth. Pain isn't punishment, it's preparation. It's the universe carving away the weak parts of you, so only the strongest remain. You see, Stoicism teaches that everything, good or bad, is an opportunity. Marcus Aurelius said, "The impediment to action advances action." What stands in the way becomes the way. That means the thing that hurt you is the thing that will elevate you. The obstacle isn't blocking your path. It is your path. Your heartbreak is not your ending. It's your awakening. But to turn pain into power, you have to stop running from it. You can't numb it with distractions or bury it under denial. You have to face it, understand it, and use it as fuel. Every time you think about how they hurt you, how they walked away, how they made you feel replaceable, don't let that memory break you. Let it drive you. Let it push you to become so powerful that you no longer recognize the version of yourself that once cried over people who couldn't even love you right. Because here's the thing, they might have thought they destroyed you, but they only handed you the tools to rebuild yourself stronger. They gave you the silence you needed to find your voice. They gave you the distance you needed to rediscover your direction. They gave you the rejection that forced you into redirection. And now, every ounce of that pain can become the fire that lights your purpose. Imagine pain as a forge. The fire's hot, the hammer's heavy, but the process is necessary, because gold doesn't shine until it's tested by flame. Diamonds don't sparkle until they've been under pressure. You don't become powerful until you've been broken and rebuilt. Every great man, every wise soul, every stoic warrior you've ever admired, they all became who they are because life hit them hard and they refused to stay down. So don't curse your pain, thank it. Thank it for teaching you patience. Thank it for showing you who truly values you. Thank it for burning away your illusions so you could finally see your truth. That's how pain turns into power, when you stop saying, "Why me?" and start saying, "Watch me." You have two choices after heartbreak. You can let it make you miserable, or you can let it make you magnetic. Because nothing draws people in like peace. Nothing commands respect like a man who walks through hell and comes out calm. That's real strength. Not shouting, not chasing, not proving, just becoming untouchably composed. So what do you do now? You build. You rebuild your focus, your fitness, your finances, your future. You pour all the energy you used to waste on them into creating a version of yourself that even you would admire. You get up early, you train, you study, you heal. You start living for yourself again, because nothing makes the past irrelevant faster than success that speaks for itself. And trust me, when they see it, they'll feel it. They'll see you living, laughing, glowing, and they'll know. They'll know they didn't break you. They built you. They'll know the pain they caused became the foundation of your power. They'll know they could have stood beside greatness, but they walked away instead. And that realization will be their true regret. But this story isn't about them anymore. It's about you. You've learned. You've grown. You've risen. You've become something that can't be shaken by temporary people. You've become a force of calm in a world that thrives on chaos. You've become everything they thought you'd never be without them, free, focused, and fulfilled. So, my friends, don't run from your pain. Don't silence it. Don't numb it. Let it speak. Let it teach. Let it transform you. Because the moment you accept that everything that broke you was actually building you, you become unstoppable. Remember this: what once hurt you no longer has power over you when you choose to grow from it. Pain may have been your past, but power is your future. Every scar tells a story, every tear had a purpose, and every loss brought you closer to becoming who you were meant to be. Type this in the comments right now to seal this truth in your heart. I turned my pain into power. Show them, show yourself, show the world that your silence, your strength, your self-mastery, it all came from what was meant to destroy you, but instead became your greatest weapon. If this spoke to your soul, if it woke something inside you, then don't keep it to yourself. Hit that like button, subscribe, and share this message with someone who's still fighting their way out of the storm. Because you never know whose life you'll change just by reminding them that pain doesn't end you. It evolves you. Stay strong, stay silent, stay stoic. Your pain has done its job. It turned you into power.